My name is Michelle Gonzalez and my degree is Child Learning and Development. I wanted to go to college close to home, just, I don't know, out of ease and because it would be better financially. So I applied to UTD and they gave me full tuition scholarship just based off of my SAT score and I guess everything holistically. And so really my main decision to come to UTD was financially, but looking back it was way better for me to come here. I got to do a degree that was really focused on what I wanted, like child learning development. Because UNT also had an early education degree, but I really wanted to get a research base. So I originally wanted to get my teacher certification. Way back when I wanted to be a dentist or a physical therapist, and then I started AP biology and decided not to do that. And I just always wanted to do something to help people and just have a direct impact on people. And my dad's a teacher, my grandma is an educator. It's a long line of family history of educators. And so when I applied to UTD, my degree was interdisciplinary studies, but I wanted something more focused. And I really wanted that psychology side because I eventually want to be a school counselor. So then I switched my major to child learning development. And at some point I actually added the education degree and I was going to do a double major, but it just added a bunch of hours that I didn't really need. I think it's really helpful. So what it did for my degree is it really fulfilled my upper level elective hours with just education classes. And the education degree also requires some psych classes, so my degree and the education program kind of meshed very well together. And so I had to apply to be a part of the teacher development center. They accepted my application, and you would take some classes to start your certification program, but then after those first couple ones, they have restricted classes that they can only approve you for. Mm-hmm. And you have to receive at least a B in most of the classes to get certified. And it's there are prerequisites within the program. And so my degree doesn't really add on to that. It's everything for my degree comes from, everything for my certification is from the Teacher Development Center. Yes, but there are some people within the people who are in the education degree, their major required courses are the classes that I'm taking for the certification. I think it was pretty seamless, mostly because there was already an existing degree plan with child learning development plus early childhood to 6th grade certification. There was just a little bit of more that I had to do to figure out my degree plan, because the other degrees had a 4-year plan, you should take this within these semesters, but I just kind of had to figure it out for myself. And so I would mostly just message AJ and my degree advisor and say, okay, so I'm planning on taking this, does this work? Or do I need to take this class before this? And just kind of verify the order and stuff. Yeah, so it has a lot of names. So
okay.
The Toyota Foundation.
Oh, it's a Toyota scholarship.
Yeah, so
okay.
They donated money to the Teacher Development Center, and so they call it the UT Dallas Scholars or the Toyota Scholars. So pretty much they give me money, always the best part, and it's a semester scholarship to help cover the rest of my college cost, and then we meet once a month with our project supervisor, Ms. DeMasi, and at first it was just her, and she would kind of teach us things to help us be better educators and people, and then 2 years ago, I think, we had someone else come, Dr. Summers. He's with the engineering department, and he teaches us STEM stuff. Okay. And it's super cool. The first time that he was teaching us, we built a wind tunnel, and we learned all about everything with that. We learned the science behind it. We learned a lot about the different forces and just we built it. And so I have that, and so if I want to do it with my students, I mean, he told us how he would teach his engineering students and how we can teach our students, so it's very different. And so I have a wind tunnel that I can use later. And like this past year, I think we got a little behind, but we were going to reverse engineer a hairdryer. And so we started the process, and so we took apart the hairdryer, and we would have to like label each part how engineers do it to reverse engineer something. It was really fun. It was a little cathartic. I mean, there was, the like what you plug into the wall, that it was like almost impossible to open. Like he was like, okay, just go outside and like hit it with a hammer.
Are you kidding me? You took that part apart?
Yes, like we had to take apart the whole thing, but we didn't finish. But so we're gonna finish this next year. But so we were hammering and it wasn't opening, so then we just like stuck a flathead screwdriver to like pry it open. Yeah. Well, I really want to teach elementary grades. I mean, I'm happy with any of the grades in any subject really, but like my prime, like this is top tier, would be like second grade. Pretty much for second grade you have to teach all subjects, but if I could, it would be like math and science.
Really?
Yes, I love math and science, but I love how second graders, like first to third, like they're super sweet. Kindergarten is rough. If we had universal pre-K, I would be more willing to teach kindergarten. But fourth and fifth, they just get a little too old for me. And yes, so it's also part of my degree. So for child learning development, you have to have like an internship credit. And so thankfully, student teaching counts as that for me. And so I got accepted into this residency program. A couple districts have it, but with my scholarship, I was limited to Dallas ISD or Garland ISD, just so we can help underrepresented populations. So I am going to be student teaching with Garland ISD, and I already was matched, so I'm going to be doing third grade English language arts, which it will be a challenge just because, again, I love English language arts, but math and science are like my top tier subjects. And third grade is the first STAR test year. And so, but honestly, this is the perfect setting for me to learn from an experienced teacher. Because if I got hired as like out of college and they're like, okay, teach third grade ELAR, I'd say, how do I teach a kid how to take a standardized test? So it'll be really great for me to learn. I honestly, I don't know like their rules. I don't know their system. I start staff development with them July 31st. So then I'll go back with them and I'll kind of just see how they do everything. Because yeah, I have no clue. I do know that just from looking at their website that their like secondary students have personal Chromebooks, but I think the elementary students, their Chromebooks like stay in the classroom.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I think Garland might have uniforms now.
I know at least at my school, because it's a magnet school, that they do, because it's a STEM school. I know they do have uniforms. I don't know if they do across the district.
So if you get through this, so this is
it's year long.
It's a year long. Okay, great. And then it's potentially you could stay there.
I think that's what they want. I mean, this whole time, like through the whole interview process, like the TDC would say that like this is a year-long interview. They really just want you there. Like I'm interviewing them to make sure I like the district and to see how they run things, like what the curriculum's like. But they're also trying to see how I fit into their family. Mm-hmm. I live in Carrollton, so I was in Louisville ISD. So I went to Hebron High School. Yeah. Well, my family's from Columbia, and so they moved here when my older brother was like 4 months old, and then a couple of years later I was born, and so we moved around Carrollton, but pretty much we're in the same area. I first went to like a private school for kindergarten, and then they closed down. So then we went to the public school within our area. Yeah, so my dad, his degree is actually in electrical engineering in Columbia. He went to the University in the Andes, which is like a prestigious college, and he worked in that. My mom, she is the daughter of missionaries, so she went to like a Bible college, and so she did more of like a Bible school, but she got her associates, and she also got her bachelor's, but it wasn't accredited, so it doesn't count here. But so my dad still does have his bachelor's, but so when they came here on like a church visa, and so they came for ministry, and so my dad worked in the church when he got here, and so after working in a church for a while, they didn't really say that he had like experience with engineering, like if he wanted to work in engineering here, especially just because everything changed so much. So he's like, what I learned is like outdated engineering systems. But so when he still works at the church, but when he was going to get a different full-time job, he's like, I'll teach. And so he did an alternate certification program, and so that's how he's certified. He teaches 4th grade dual language math and science.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
What district?
He's in Dallas.
He's in Dallas. Okay. Does he like Dallas ISD?
Yes, mostly because they have a really good bilingual stipend.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay.
And they have a lot of enrichment programs that he can help with. Like they have like a STEM camp over the summer, so he gets to work on that with them. I have to teach for 2 years minimum, 2 or 3, and then do a master's program in school counseling, and then I have to do like the hours to become a school counselor, and then I have to take a certification exam to be a counselor. So that's my long-term goal. But I'm also lately been considering admin, so I don't know if I want to be a principal, and so that if I do a master's program, and I think if I do some things with like curriculum, I think I can also get certified in being a principal. So I guess
You're
I
so
really
young. Who knows?
I know, yeah. So I'm saying, once I'm in a classroom and I see how it's like to be in a school, and I can see how my admins work and how my counselor works, then I can go from there. And I could also do counseling and then later be a principal if I wanted.
School counseling seems like such a sweet gig. Like
Yes, I know.
when I've worked in schools or taken my daughter to schools, it's like, okay, she has like, they always have like a really cushy, cozy office.
I know.
It's like, you don't have to be in a classroom. Students just like come to you. I'm not saying it's not important. It is. It's just
Yes.
like, it seems very like,
It's like a reward.
yes.
It's like what I see a lot is that teachers don't really stay teachers for their whole lives, just because it's a really hard job, and it takes a lot out of you, and like your work it's not limited to your contract hours. You usually are working at home. If not, then you just have to be really good at what you do. I mean, first year of teaching, I'm probably going to be working a lot at home, but I mean, most of them end up changing into maybe going into admin or being like an instructional person where they help with interventions and helping students who are like behind. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved the idea of counseling, and I just love development and all of the psychology things. So I think I would really love that. But there is a big pay difference with principals. Counselors usually have like a bigger cap on their income, and some districts pay counselors much less. Some of them even pay like close to what teachers make. Like, I have a master's degree. Well, my biggest piece of advice is really just to let go. I'm so big on organization, but a little too much. I feel anxious when I don't have control over things, and so I try to overplan and say, well, if this doesn't work, then I'll do this. And so I have like a backup to a backup to a backup. But then I was just never actually living and just enjoying my life. I would just say like, okay, I need to meet deadlines, but then I would never do anything else except school, and I like took way too many hours, and that's why I ended up dropping the double degree with education, just because I was already getting the education classes that I needed with my certification program. But so with the double degree, I mean, I was going to be taking so many hours even on top of my student teaching. And so I was like, well, my whole focus should be student teaching, not just taking classes just to get another degree and to show off. And so really it's just maybe ignore what you think would look nice or what seems very, I guess, just makes you look good. Because at the end of the day, if you hate your life, then it's not going to matter how many degrees you have or how many awards you have or how many organizations you were a part of. I mean, just start small, join one organization, stick with, try to see friends at least once a week, and do one thing for yourself a day, and just go through life like that, or else months will go by and you'll be like, why am I so miserable? And be like, maybe because I'm not taking care of myself at all. So yeah, just take it little by little, and you're not going to enjoy life if you're overwhelmed all the time.